Okay, so I'm going to show you how to get started on the summative. Okay, what you're going to do first is you're going to go to Classroom. Actually, let me back that up. The first thing you're going to do is open up a blank, brand new Scratch. Okay, because whatever Scratch you have open at the time, it's when I give you the starter, it's going to replace that file. So we don't want to replace any of your old things. Okay, so this is going to be called the collision summative. Okay, and then your name. All right. And what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to leave that here, okay, and leave everything as is. I'm going to go to Classroom. I'm going to go to the maze summative thing, okay. Yours will look a little bit different, but this is the file that I want you to download, okay. So you're going to download this, okay, and you got to press your three dots and open it in a new window, okay. And then when you do, it loads this page. And from here, you want to click Download, okay. And what that does is that puts it in your Downloads folder, okay. So once that's done, I'm going to go to Collision Summative. I'm going to click File. I'm going to choose Load from your computer. Okay, then I'm going to navigate to my Downloads folder, which is where it puts a default. Click the Maze Starter and click Open. Okay, and it's going to say like it's going to replace your current project. So once I do that, okay, what you'll notice is you get three sprites, okay, and a backdrop. So these are your three sprites. You can change them later if you want to, but these are the three you're going to begin with. Okay. Um, each of the three sprites has a little bit of starter code. Okay. But and then the background has two costumes or backdrops already preloaded. Okay. You'll notice that there's red bars on both of them. You'll also notice that there's more red bars on the second one. And here's the idea of what you're making. Okay. You're going to make a maze where your sprite starts in the top left, navigates through the maze, gets to the black hole, and then it levels up to a more advanced, okay, maze. So more difficult to navigate this time and get through the maze. Now the walls are not necessarily things barriers, but instead you're going to have a when touching event, reset it, lose a life, and go back to the beginning. Okay, so don't think of the walls as barriers. Think of it as a loss of a life event when they touch. Okay, I do strongly encourage that when you're setting this up and it's set and you have the sensing the color, that you use the eyedropper tool to pick up the exact color that's on these bars. Okay, in the rubric it talks about having three levels, so have another level at least that's more complicated. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the three sprites. You obviously have your character sprite that's going to navigate through, and you can change the character, okay? But your chasers, okay, will be one chaser might be on level one and be slow, okay? And then your second chaser might be on level two, okay, where things are getting more complicated. So the idea is you're making the maze more complicated because on the first level, you have a slower sprite, okay? On the second level, you might have the faster sprite, and then on the third level, maybe you bring them both in, okay, and they're both chasing your sprite that tries to navigate, okay, and then you have your this isn't in the rubric as required, but you have your win backdrop and you have your game over backdrop. So that's the idea behind the summative. It's a sprite navigating the maze, and each level gets a little bit more difficult. Meanwhile, there's chasers coming into play too.